Welcome to Spotlight TV. I'm your host, Emily Zubi, and today we have an incredible woman who is part of our CEO circle at Miami Women Who Rock. Her name is Naty Diaz. She is the CEO and founder of Prestige Clinical Research. Welcome to the show, Naty. Want to hear all about this because you are doing incredible work, and I was fascinated by your story. So tell us, how did you get started? You're the founder of this. So how long has it been around, and what's your why?
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you for having me on your show. I'm extremely honored and humble to be part of, the amazing journey that you've created for us lady CEOs recognitions. I started my company, I founded it 13 years ago. I've been in the healthcare field for 35 years. If you say how everything started, it started when I was very young. I had a dream that I wanted to be a nurse, the head nurse, the one in charge of the administration of the hospital. So I knew I wanted to be a boss, I wanted to be administrative charge, and I wanted to be in clinicals. Through my journey, I ended up going into my dream business, my passion, my love, which is clinical research. It challenges me. It keeps me on my toes. Every study is different. Every study has new things to learn, new things to do. And it's my passion. I truly found my calling. It took long. I was in the healthcare industry. I started off as, of course, receptionist from the bottom, then dictations, medical billing, collections, quality assurance, auditor, and the right path got together, and I ended up in research.
So you were in every aspect.
Yes, I learned every aspect.
Healthcare is a real hot button for us. We always say, rock your health, rock the world. We're a platform, a network of women giving back. But also, when I first started this, it was all about wellness. And even our award 10 years ago when we reorganized is a woman bathed in healing light. Because, women don't have the luxury of just being able to take time off. They're caretakers.
That is true.
So what you're doing is so important, making sure that, these medications are safe.
Correct.
But you, in order to get there, you were in every single aspect.
Yes.
So how long ago did you start your company?
So I started it 13 years ago. I took the leap and went on my own. Started within the practice of a physician. I was helping him with quality assurance, how to document properly. And I said, let's go ahead and I'll help you. You help me. Let's share the space. I'll help you with your, getting your documentations in order. And that's where it spinned off. Within the first year, I went to my own facility. And then 5 years later, we went bigger. Then we bought our first offices in the Gables 4 years ago. Yesterday was this anniversary. And a year ago, we bought our location building in Homestead. And we have just been growing and focusing in diversity. To me, it's important that we do clinical studies in minority groups and Hispanics. The majority of my patients are Hispanics. We are doing a big push for it to include African American because, educating them, it's a little scary. It's something different for them. It's not in our culture to do clinical research. Why is it important? We want to make sure that medication works the same for all backgrounds, all ethnicities. That if that cholesterol medication is going to do the same things it's going to do for an white American person, than a Hispanic, than Latino. So that's why our focus is in diversity and bringing diversity.
That is so amazing and so important. As a Latina, you're on my team for Go Red, and the campaign is going strong for American Heart Association. But for example, blood pressure. So many medications have contraindications.
Correct.
And as certain cultures have certain predisposed, right?
Yeah.
To certain illnesses.
Right.
So you said is so important to make sure that those medications,
that same medication is going to work.
Is going to work the same way.
Correct. Same efficacy.
What are the challenges of now working with the FDA? I can't even imagine.
Well, we work along with the CRO. The sponsor provides the protocol, and we get an FDA visit, when we do high enrollment. And of course, I always want to be number one enrolling. So, and it's fine. It's durable. It's something it has to be done. It's not for cause. It's for high. It's to make sure that since we're providing so much data, that's in order, and it's something that is checking off the box and balances. And it's nobody wants them in their office, but when it comes, it happens. And so far, we've been successful in our FDA reviews, and it's an important part of the process.
13 years.
Yes.
I mean, I would say you're quite successful
over
in
100
it.
studies and
100 studies.
Yeah, over 100 protocols that we've done. We were part of the vaccines, the COVID vaccines. So when everybody was on shutdown, we were working full gear, 12-hour days.
You didn't stop.
We didn't stop. We didn't stop, ensuring that we found out the efficacy and safety of that vaccine. We've worked also to me, is very important, mental health. We have mental health physicians. We do mental health studies, schizophrenia, bipolar, depression.
I didn't even realize
yeah.
that. You mentioned that.
Yes.
And I guess it just registered. So all the medications that they treat, mental health is so important.
Extremely.
And as I always say, we used to do this event, Beat the Blues. I had a mother that struggled with mental illness.
Yes.
And there's no shame in the game if you need medication. And I
Correct.
tell everyone, it's like, yes, you get professional help, but some things do need to be treated with medication.
Correct.
So that's a whole nother part of what you do.
Awareness that, there's a stigma. If you see a psychiatrist, it's bad. Or if you go see a therapist, it's bad, and remove that. And efficacy and safety on those patients taking medications, teaching them compliance. A lot of those medications patients tend to relapse due to not taking medication. They feel a little better. Medications are strong. Sometimes there's side effects. So, it's re-educating them, participating in the studies to help us assist. And not necessarily all medications that we study are new. Some of them are going up for the 10 years reapprovals, and we're just making sure that they're still safe. They still have the same efficacy, whether they have a different indication. We all know the story of Viagra. It started for heart problems and ended up being...
No, I didn't know that.
It started giving palpitations and ended up being very, one of the successful medication of Pfizer, and it worked. But through research, we were able to determine what was the correct indication for that medication. It was not for palpitations or heart disease.
Wow, I did not.
Yes.
You learn something new every day. Yeah. We'll have another discussion after the show on that one.
Yes.
Well, in terms of what are the illnesses that are right now, it seems lately every time I turn around, I have another friend that has diabetes.
Yes.
And I have seen very up close how much that affects their daily life, because it's monitoring, or they wear the Dexcom and so forth. So are there certain illnesses that you're seeing more medications for that are trending, if that's the right word?
Well, right now, it's definitely, vaccine season with all the respiratory conditions going on, diseases and colds and different flus and RSVs. So right now, the trend is prevention, vaccine, treatment, minimize the hospitalizations. As far as diabetes, yes, there is always room for improvement in diabetes. Mm-hmm. A lot, type 2 sometimes stems from obesity, which they're doing a lot of research with new medications that could help with weight loss, and I think it's being studied. We don't know enough yet, and that's why research is important. Things become a trend, and we need to study it to see what is the future outcome.
When I think of the word research, I mean, do you have a very analytical mind? Like you have a passion for it.
Yes.
So you have to be really attention to detail. Correct. What are some of the other skills that, especially since you have a passion for it, that kind of prevail in that industry?
Well, it's, you get a protocol. It's our Bible. It's how we conduct the study. And basically, we have team meetings, and we have passionate, not disagreements, like discussions that, when you're Hispanic, you're more passionate, and everybody's like, are they fighting or arguing? No, we're not. We're just being so passionate, making sure that we're following the protocol, that we're on the same page. We have monthly meetings to discuss, or anything comes up. And it's just, I like that I'm able to listen to my clinicians, my practitioners, and say, okay, or my physicians, this is what because we need to interpret it. we need to figure out how we conduct that study based on that protocol. Each site gets a protocol and they have to conduct it to, based on that book. So it's challenging. It's interesting. I love that we deal with patients, that they come in, that, we give them more one-to-one service because they come into our office more often. I know it's hard
You're
for
so
them to get an
loving
appointment.
and nurturing.
Yeah.
Like you
so
were in the
important
right
to me.
industry.
Yeah.
You really care.
I do. They're important to me. They're important to my site. I tell them that, everyone's, we treat them like royalty. Like,
That's so
they're important to us. That they feel comfortable, that they know that they're doing something great for the community by taking these medications and give us the feedback and communicating and letting us know if there's any adverse events, letting us know if they were hospitalized for any reason so we can report it immediately. So, advocacy.
Yeah, and that communication, keeping those channels open,
yes.
that follow-up.
Correct.
I mean, I imagine you're in a very detail-oriented business. I mean, you can't miss a step.
No,
and
everything's timed. We time the times. We have to look at the protocol. What time do they stand? What time do they sit for the blood pressure? Is it laying supine? Is it sitting? There's a lot of controls in place to make sure that medication works, if it works or not.
13 years, your success story. What would you say is your special sauce or secret sauce to your success?
You have to have passion. You have to love what you're doing. I do love what I do. You have to really put everything you have into it. I never get bored. I of it. I love it. It's I don't know how to explain it. It's my calling. And
what does a typical day look like for you?
Well, lately it's been pretty busy between both sites. Sometimes I don't know where I'm going to be. But it's dealing with monitors, dealing with contracts, dealing with the staff, ensuring that we're recruiting, that we're reaching out to our patients, past patients. We do very little commercials. Our patients tend to come back. We have a 13-year database. They like how we conduct our studies, how we treat them. There are the referrals. One patient refers another patient, refers a family member. So we don't really do radio and commercials and none of that.
I mean, that's the true sign of a successful business is that word of mouth referral. If your clients are referring people to you and they're also returning and you don't have that attrition,
right,
then you're doing it and doing it right. It costs so much more to get a new customer than to keep one.
Correct.
And we tell businesses that all the time, but it sounds like, that's really important in your whole scheme of things and also that service.
Yes. And I think the other component is teamwork. There's no I, it's we. I have an amazing team.
Let's talk about your team. How big is your team?
Right now, we are 15 full-time staff, and then we have physicians or subcontractors, or they're considered principal investigators.
And how do you manage? Because you have two facilities now?
Two facilities.
So how do you, from a leadership standpoint?
Right. Some staff we share because the other facilities, it's new, it's 1 year old, which has taken off very dynamically more to my expectations, where it keeps me most days over there versus our main office. It's doing very well. We went into an area that was much needed. That's why that area was selected. I noticed a lot of our patients wanted to come to our site. It was very far, the distance, the travel, the expense. And we found the need to create a second facility in that area in Homestead. And it has been an amazing journey so far. And we are super excited.
You're growing. So if you're just joining us, we are here with Naty Diaz. She is the founder and CEO of Prestige Clinical Research. And spotlight on you, Naty. What in terms, let's talk about leadership. We're working on this book of leaders. It's our leadership legacy initiative. And I'm always fascinated at styles, leadership styles. And you're a very generous person as well. You believe in giving back. That's important. What would you say your leadership style is?
My leadership style is being appreciative, always letting my staff know how much I appreciate them, including them in every event. I'm a true believer in giving back. I've been in the community, Girl Scout leader, manager, PTA president, all my life. I've been giving back to the community before with my time. Now I give back donating. I'm starting to do mentoring. I like to mentor. I like to teach. I like to teach my staff. I want them to learn. I want them to grow. I like to listen to them. I am not closed-minded. I listen to ideas. I take it in. I want them to feel included. We are a team. I cannot do it all alone. I would love to, but I learned to. Part of growth is delegating and trusting and allowing others to grow and let them shine and let them know when they're shining and be inclusive to them and detailed. I may not be there and I'll get delivered their favorite cookies and like, oh, you made my day. Because I could feel like they're working hard. I know they're working hard for the company and I'm truly appreciative of them.
That is so important. So in our CEO Circle, you're a CEO Circle member, and we just started our
Extremely
CEO
humble.
Circle. We had our first lunchtime lab. Just if you could share a little bit about what your experience has been, because you were great. You're like, yes, I'm in, and you've been so active with it and such a big part of it. And we just started it like a month ago.
I went to that meeting and I just took it all in. I didn't even take a picture. Because everybody's like, oh, did you take a picture? It was just so amazing, so dynamic to be with other ladies in my caliber. The talks, we were able to share our thoughts and we have the same things in common. And it was just, those 2 hours felt like 5 minutes. I'm like, is it over so fast, so soon?
Wow.
I remember you saying, if you want, we could do it shorter next time. And everybody's like, no, we would like 2 hours. And I said, if I'm going to step out of the office, I'm all in. It's been an amazing beginning of a beautiful journey. I'm super excited to be part of this team, the Circle of Ladies, and very honored. Thank you, Emily.
Thank you.
So
well,
much.
thank you. Thank you for being a part of it. And also, that was the whole thing when we started these lunchtime labs, which is our language for lunch and learn.
Yes.
And, it's now really like a CEO mastermind that it's turned into. But one of the biggest things was that I promised everyone like an hour and 15 minutes in and done was my tagline,
Correct. You did, yeah.
But you're absolutely right. That discussion that happened afterwards, because these are all incredibly powerhouse women.
Yes.
Who are sharing the same things and are in a safe space to be able to share their challenges. And so our next one, we have Renee Lopez-Quintero, who will be speaking on digital marketing, and she is like a digital maven. So I'm excited.
Yes,
I want to learn.
Yes, and we learned so much. And for me, it gave me like, wow, I've been doing it correctly. When she was going through the process and growth, I'm like,
yes. We had Liz Mershon on the show. So she did the profit recipe. We interviewed her right before, I think it was around the holidays. And she, she is wonderful. I know her 30 years. So, shout out to Liz.
Yeah, no, she was amazing. And it felt so good to know that I've done the things right and on my own. And I learned other things from that meeting. Things that, okay, you know what? She's right. I need to create this position. I need to do these little changes. And as we grow more, I need to tweak these things. And I'm reading the book. I'm
good. Traction.
It. Yes. Yeah. Amazing.
We gave away the book Traction to everybody.
I have it on my nightstand table. I sometimes travels with me on my tote, like an old lady. I run around with a tote with a whole bunch of things. It's part of my bag too. That is my go-to read-to book, and
that is so great.
Learning journey.
I'm always with a tote and something to read in it.
Yes.
And that whole book review is just so key to to learning and to always have an attitude of learning, no matter what in business, to be able to do that. But I think business-wise, to find a book. My brother loved it. He's our fractional COO, and he took that book and dissected it. And
that's what we've been doing.
That's how he is. He's like, I'm a visionary. Like Liz tells me, you're complete visionary, but what you need to do is learn, how to, carry out that vision with everyone else and develop the team. So
correct.
She's working with me on that.
That's good. That's good. I'm a visionary, and I also I'm a team player, and I think my big strength is I'm a problem solver.
Oh,
I'm a problem solver. Okay, we'll get it resolved. It'll get resolved, and I figure it out, and we get it resolved. So that's they know they have someone to go to, and the team knows that I'm always available.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes a little bit hard to disconnect because I love it so much. So I'm going to try to disconnect. That's I'm going to try.
So as a
On
problem
vacation.
solver, what would you say is one of the biggest challenges that you could share that you are proud that you overcame? Like, anything that you would want to share with us, like, like at a point in your business that, was something that you had to kind of pivot or, problem solve?
Let's see. Okay. Like I said, the office was a venture. It's something that we invested. We decided to go forward, and then great to have this location. I remodeled it before we moved in to make sure that it's a beautiful office facility ready to go when we started. But of course, you have to get a study. Okay.
Is this the one in Chrome?
In Chrome.
Okay.
So, I managed to get that study for Coral Gables and also for Chrome. So I managed to swing it that way. On the other side, the other day we had a visit for a COVID study coming up, and they were coming to visit the Gables. And I said, "Well, I have a second office in Homestead. It's a beautiful drive. If you wanted to come over, just take a look at it."
Uh-huh.
They looked at it, came over to Coral Gables, and recommended both sites. So it's because it's really hard to get studies. It's a tough market. It's a lot of research sites. Looking for the same market, same studies, and I've been able to start getting studies to be on both sides, which makes it for me perfect. I learn it. We able to conduct it.
That's beautiful.
Simultaneously.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What would be the one success story or something like a crowning moment that you would say, I'm most proud of?
When we bought our first facility, when it was ours. Then we moved to the Gables and we had our own suites. And we were no longer renting, and we knew we were here to stay. Right now, we're kind of grown the facility. We're looking to expand it. So within 4 years, we don't fit in our offices, and that's a good thing.
That's beautiful.
So that's what we're doing now.
That is a great moment. Sign the door and to own it.
Yes, owned. That's
amazing. The biggest equity you can have in your business. Yes. Sometimes it doesn't make sense, but obviously when it does is, I'm a big proponent of real estate. My father always said that, own Correct. As much as you can.
That's been our motto, and we put everything back into our facilities. Everything's modern, up to date always, paid in full. We, securities for the staff, and, because there's changes. Studies open, studies go. And we just, giving them a security that they know they have there with us, with the site.
Beautiful. What advice would you give to your younger self?
My younger self. I don't know. I think that we had a lot of conversations, and I probably could have reached this point sooner, but I also enjoyed motherhood. I was a young mom, and I was there for them for those important moments. And they're all amazing, beautiful women I'm very proud of. The youngest is in mid school in Vanderbilt to be a doctor. Her third year.
Let's talk about family. Yeah. Not everyone wants to talk about family, but you are a proud mom, and
I am a proud mother.
Let's talk about family, because that's important.
I have 3 amazing, beautiful daughters. They all studied. I went to school. The oldest did stay on board with the company. She's been with us for 10 years. She's the medication manager. We call it investigational product manager. For the site. She oversees both sites, the staff on that department. My middle daughter studied journalism and photography. She's chosen for now to be a stay-at-home mom, which is also fine. And my youngest is in Vanderbilt, her third year enslaved to be a doctor. She chose psychiatry, mental health, which is very meaningful because there is a need. She's in Nashville, and she says, I don't think I'm coming back because we need Hispanic representation here. There's a lot of Spanish patients they were not able to communicate clearly with their physicians. So her calling is to stay in Nashville. She's able to get residency there.
Wow, that is just so admirable. I'm sure they've taken a page out of the book and said, look, mom does this, and they learn that they're no.
Right.
And I was once asked in a press interview, glass ceilings, what were, and I said I never saw the glass ceilings, so it wasn't about smashing them, because I looked in a world and I said, what, it's all possible.
Yes.
We're in Women History Month. I say we're making history every single day.
Right.
What would you say is your biggest legacy? Like 10 years from now, we're sitting and you would say, hey, Emily, I'm so proud I did.
I'm proud that I was born here, raised in Wynwood, in the inner city, not this fashion Wynwood that we know now with all the beautiful bars and restaurants.
I didn't know that.
No, I was born here, went to school in the inner city, went to Jackson's Junior High. I understand what it is to come from a very low income family, but my parents always worked. My father always worked. He was a baker. My mother passed away when I was a baby. My stepmother was she would do home cleanings, and I seen their struggles, and I seen how I wanted to make a difference. I remember my summers were cleaning houses, helping her. And I would say, when I come back, I'm going to paint all the houses in Wynwood to look the same when I would go to the big houses and see how everything was nice. So I knew I was wanted to give back. I knew that was a very important part of my life journey, to give back, to be a mentor. What do I want my legacy to be in the future? That I helped, that I made a difference in this world, that I helped teenage moms, that I helped children that are of low income, underprivileged. I remember getting in line for 13 hours for that one toy and Maria de Hostos, and I look, so I know, and I pray to always stay humble and know and remember, and that's why the patients are important to me.
Oh, I love that. So, humility and faith.
Yes.
You're getting all emotional.
I'm sorry. It's a passion for me.
It's at the core.
Yes,
and,
it's at the core.
I too, came from.
It's like here.
A working class, and I learned how to work really hard, all my life, and I almost don't know how not to work. Like, are you going to retire at some point? And I go, I don't know if I'll ever be able to, but I'll let that time when it comes. So we just have like a few minutes left. I'm so grateful that you will be at the American Heart Association, that you're part of our Go Red team. Heart health is so important. And I met you through Karina at Amigos. So you do work with them as a charity.
Yes, we started a few years of sponsorship, and then each year we were able to donate more, be more part of the program. This year we're also joining the Blue Ribbon. We're going to be sponsors for that. Again, for Amigo for Kids. It's such an important charity that Karina works with. I think very highly of her, and I respect the work they do at Amigos for Kids. It's a charity that we of our choice, that we picked to take, to be a part of their journey, because it fits what I'm looking to serve in the community.
Love them. So it's your turn to give your 30-second commercial, how someone can reach you if they're interested, who's your ideal client. Take it away.
Well, our phone number is 305-907-6960. We do have a website, pcresearchcenter.com. Our ideal client is a physician that wants to come and join a dynamic team to conduct studies together, to collaborate. Ideal patients are patients willing to participate, come into the visits, take their medication, have open communication, and be part of this making a difference in future treatments. Like our motto is prestigious research for future medications.
Love it. And you have two locations. So whether you live in Miami or
down south, we're available. We do provide transportation if needed, and we look forward.
That's it.
Call us.
That's so wonderful. And it's funny, after you and I spoke and I learned more about your business, I was talking to someone else in healthcare, and we're going to be doing, one of our partners is Belmont Village for senior living. Oh. And we're going to do a lunch and learn there on Alzheimer's.
Okay.
And, individuals that are taking care of their parents with Alzheimer's, which is, I had both parents had dementia. Yeah. So, I know that what happens is a lot of time the caretaker gets worn down from it all. Yes. So we've loved having you on. Thank you so much for making the time out. You look beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Likewise.
Love your business. Love everything that you're doing. Thank you for being part of the CEO circle. And we're just getting started. So there's so much more. And we will rock the community together.
We will.
See you next week on Spotlight TV. We go live 10 a.m. Thursdays, and always have this month we'll be doing all the CEO Circle members, and we have a great guest also in store for you next week. See you on Spotlight Carpet, and thank you to Community Newspapers for being our partner and producing our show. We couldn't do it without them. Thank you to Grant and Michael Miller.